WRTN and Rochelle, the home of Midnight Metal. Of course, tonight dedicating the entire show to Cliff Burton of Metallica, who died early this Saturday morning in a tragic auto accident. The tour bus of Metallica, of course, going off the road during their tour in Sweden, and just a lot of people calling up who did not know of that, and there are, on the other hand, a lot of people saying that they heard about that through the grapevine somehow, and we're just gonna, let you know, run over it a little, and later on, in about 5 minutes, we will have our first of about 6 or 7 installments of calls on the air, just talking about this incident and trying to get you, the people out there, the latest information about Cliff's death. We have Art Shock Magazine, who will be calling us up. Exodus, of course, Kirk Hammett in Exodus, and Exodus playing with Metallica lots of times. John Bush of Armored Saint, who, of course, Armored Saint, Metallica, and Wasp, went on that tour. That was in, what, 85, Todd? 85, 84? Yeah, okay, and John Bush, at one time you told me, was asked to be the singer of Metallica?
Yeah, it was rumored that they wanted him, but that never came about.
We have Metallica's first guitarist, Lloyd Grant, who played on the... He was on Metal Massacre, right?
Yeah, Metal Massacre.
With Ron McGovney. We have Mike Terreo of Possessed. And we have Scott Ian of Anthrax. Anthrax, of course, on tour with Metallica during the European dates. And Metallica and Scott and the rest of the guys in Anthrax are staying in the same hotel. They are now in Copenhagen, Denmark. The latest news is that Anthrax is in the hotel resting up, and of course I guess the general consensus or the general mood of being a somber one. Now let me run over this. A lot of people want to know. It was early this Saturday morning that it happened. Metallica's minivan or tour bus, whatever you want to call it, was on way to Copenhagen from a gig in Sweden. And as we have learned, the driver of the bus fell asleep and causing the van or tour bus to go off the road. As soon as the van collided and went off the road, Cliff was pinned, and they were all asleep. The whole band was asleep. The driver was driving, and Cliff was pinned in his bunk, and the rest of the members, like James, Kirk, and Lars, had abrasions. Lars broke his foot,
right,
and all 3 of the guys checked into a hospital and were released. I believe this afternoon. One of Metallica's roadies, I believe it was the drum roadie, was seriously injured, and I think he is in critical condition right now. So we're gonna try and give you the latest information. The latest information out of Copenhagen, Denmark, according to Scott Ian, is that everybody in the Metallica camp is resting. Kirk Hammett was sleeping a couple hours ago. James was walking around in a very bad mood and saying Metallica is not going to go on. Now that's just because he was in that kind of a mood. You can expect somebody to say anything like that, but of course we're going to find out the latest information. And Lars, I believe, was just in the hotel. So as of now, Anthrax and Metallica are in Copenhagen, Denmark, in a hotel together, and we're going to bring you the latest on this tragic incident about Cliff Burton. And we're going to go to the air right now, so if we can clear up any questions, give us a call. RTN, who's this?
Yes, Chris from Portchester.
Chris, I hope I just answered some of your questions there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, all the band members are mad and all that because of the bus driver?
Oh, they're not mad. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lawsuit. What I'm saying right now, it's all speculation. We're going to find out when all these people call in. But wouldn't you assume, Tony, that there would be some kind of a lawsuit because the driver of the tour bus fell asleep? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, any other questions you have?
No, I was just wondering, how we get that. Just all the other band members weren't critically injured? Or?
No, only Lars, Cliff, Lars, James, and Kirk had a couple scratches, and I believe they checked into a hospital. And
so it was nothing majorly wrong.
Oh, nothing majorly wrong.
Yeah, just Lars broke his foot. That was maybe the most major thing that happened to the band members besides Cliff dying.
And of course, a drum roadie who is in critical condition right now.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. All right, coming up in about 2 minutes, I'm going to have a call from the West Coast. We're going to be talking to the editors of Art Shock Magazine, who, along with me this afternoon, have been coming up with the information you're going to hear all morning long and all evening long.
And also right now, I guess we will be right to do is to spend a minute of silence in memory of Cliff Burton. A lot of people requested him to do that, and I definitely think it's right to do so right now. So let's.
Okay. So doesn't matter what religion you are. It just matters that whatever you want to do, take time out. And one of heavy metal's greatest bassists was killed this morning, and I think we should, in your own way, just honor the man. So we're gonna take a couple seconds out here. And continuing with Midnight Metal, this is 93.5 WRTN in Rochelle. I want to say hello to some Metallica fans out there calling up and just sharing feelings around town, around the world right now about Cliff Burton. Eric in East Meadow, Andre in Rochelle. We have MK in the Bronx, Chrissy in the Bronx, Paul in New Village, and Sue in Brooklyn. Just some of the callers calling up right now. And then Tony, I mean, jeez, I found out this afternoon, like at 12 o'clock, and I was on the phone trying to get the people, listeners of Midnight Metal, the information. I mean, man, I told you about an hour ago.
You told me about an hour and a half ago, and I was in shock when you gave me a call at my home, and you were saying to get down here real fast because Cliff Burton died, and I just couldn't believe it. I think it's a tragic loss. I mean, it's really bad. I'm speechless.
So after this, we're gonna hear from Artshock Magazine, who hopefully can shed some light on this and get their views of what happened. Of course, Artshock and WRTN working very closely on this. And in about 20 minutes, we're going to go to Copenhagen, Denmark, the scene of where both bands are right now, Metallica and Anthrax. Anthrax, of course, opening up for Metallica on the European tour. We're going to talk to Scott Ian of the band and see if he can throw some light on any of the things. And of course, if you do have a question about this, give us a call at 914-636-1460. 3.5 WRTN in Rochelle, the home of Midnight Metal. And of course, keep it here, tuned to Midnight Metal for exclusive information on the death of probably, if not one of them, definitely up there, of one of heavy metal's greatest bassists, of course. Cliff Burton of Metallica is no longer with us, and oh boy, I tell you, I didn't even want to come in tonight and do the show, but you got to do it. We're trying to bring you the best information we can. Once again, Metallica and Anthrax on tour in Europe, and early this Saturday morning, there was an auto accident with Metallica's tour van. The driver of the bus fell asleep at the wheel. The bus then crashed or veered off and pinning Cliff of Metallica against something in the van, against his bunk. We say bunk because the members of the band were asleep at the time, and Lars had his foot injured, broken, and the other two guys, as well as Lars too, had a couple of abrasions, checked in the hospital. Right now, both Anthrax and Metallica, as far as we know, are in Denmark. We're going to go to Scott Ian in Denmark, where the band went to from Sweden, where the accident happened. Right now on the phone we have Pam and Lise Lee, the editors of Artshock Magazine. And Pam, and Lise, it's a pleasure to welcome you guys for the first time to the Midnight Metal airwaves.
Hello.
And yes, Pam.
Yeah.
We're on the air. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been a crazy time at the station, and of course WRTN and Midnight Metal and Artshock have been, working together to bring the people the latest information on this. And Tony's telling me to do something. What is it, Tony? Okay, all right. So, I know we first heard about this early Saturday morning, right? Hello?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we heard about it early this morning from a writer in Los Angeles, Terry Folio. She gave us a call because apparently the members of Def Leppard showed up at her house about 2 a.m. and they heard that on their way back from London about the accident with Cliff and the rest of the guys in Metallica. They went on to tell Sherry about it, and Sherry gave us a call this morning. Kind of told us her views, but it was pretty short. She didn't really know the whole story.
Right. Now, one of the reasons we wanted you and Pam on the air tonight from Artshock was because you have been following the band very closely. I believe it was your first issue that had them on the cover, right?
Yeah, we featured them.
You know, so, I mean, tell us, like, the basic mood that, you know, your offices were in on this Saturday morning. When did you first learn about this?
I'm not just sure what time it was. It was pretty early. I had been up working, so it seemed early to me. But it was just a terrible, terrible shock. It was really a horrible thing to wake up to. And I don't know, it's just been very dark and cold around here all day, waiting to hear more news, hoping that everyone else in the band was okay, you know.
Do most people on the West Coast, if you had to take a guess, know about this tragic incident by now?
Yeah, many people do know. We didn't think it.
A lot of people don't feel real comfortable about releasing some of the information, and we don't. You know, it's a hard thing for everyone to go through. Everyone's in shock. Everyone's just, it's really unreal to us, and so it comes off as, you know, a difficult death situation for everyone, and some people, it's being aired, but everyone is so down that it's not, you know, real. I think everybody's in shock.
Now, here at the station, you know, during the course of early tonight before the show went on, a lot of people were calling up and saying different things. There were a lot of rumors flying around the record and radio industry. I mean, when people called your office to find out, you know, what happened, what were some of the things they were saying?
Mostly, is it really true? Did it really happen? And they wanted to know where, when, how, you know, who was hurt.
Well, they also were saying that, you know, that everyone was gone. There were very wild rumors, you know, completely out of...
There was a lot of hysteria going on at this, you know, over here on our coast, anyway. They're from here. It upset a great many people, and at this time, a lot of people do know what happened.
Okay. Now, we should point out that one of your colleagues, Metal Mike, who heads up, if I'm correct, Artshock in Holland,
right.
Tell us about some of his great work. What did he do? Metal Mike, for people who don't know, what did he do? Can you sort of set a scene on...
He started Artshock, the original concept. It's a little different now, but as an underground heavy metal magazine in Holland, which really caught on, and he was... started off some of the greatest groups, you know, now in metal, leading in the metal scene. And he had been on tour with Metallica in the eastern states, and had been friends with him. So he was shocked. He was really shocked. And it was a difficult time over there because no one knew, and it was in the middle of the night, and some people were in London, some people were, you know, on the other side of the continent, and it was, no one knew. It was hard to believe. The stories were such a variety, and the people closest were having a hard time with that at the time, and still are. God knows, you know, it was a tragic thing to happen for a group that took so many all-out risks in their music and in the area they were moving. You know, they were good. They were great. Hey, I'm talking about them. They're still a band. They're still a group. you know, there's terrific musicians there.
Okay. As you ladies well know, Metallica, of course, with the release of Master of Puppets, have opened up a lot of doors. And, you know, hopefully, of course, this is going to take some time to get through this. And when you consider it, their managers, Cliff Bernstein, who gave us some of this exclusive information, gave me the information and confirmed that Cliff had died. And also Peter Mensch, the other manager, have sort of a double omen, if you want, on their hands. Of course, Def Leppard also under the Q Prime management. And now this, I mean, you know, they've got to be hurting about this too.
Oh, yeah. They've got to be very upset, I can imagine. You know, they've been with these guys for so long. They know them so well. It's not just another band to them. And having to go, you know, through the Def Leppard experience and now this, which is even more tragic.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to say from your end of the stick? We're going to be talking to Scott E, and of course Anthrax was on the road with Metallica in about 5 minutes. Actually, we're about 5 minutes overdue. We're going to go to Copenhagen, Denmark. But is there anything that you want to tell the listeners of the show, I mean the fans of Metallica who have been by them, I mean any message of support?
Just stick by them. It's a terrible tragedy. It's going to be hard for everyone to accept. I don't think that this means, I hope and pray that it doesn't mean that Metallica is finished. They're excellent musicians. There's still a good part of the band left. Just stick with them, I think, is the best thing to say. They'll need the support and they'll need the fans now.
Okay, great. We want to thank you, too, for...
Actually, I am.
Scott Ian live in Copenhagen. And Scott, let me just pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk to you about the whole incident with Cliff. And I know the mood at the hotel in Copenhagen must be one of dismay and sort of just a somber mood, right?
Yeah, it's pretty quiet, yeah.
Okay, hang on. We'll get right back to you. Scott Ian of Anthrax. Got to break open the story right now. We'll be back.